It's all but official. This year's presidential contest will be a rematch of the 2020 election between Biden and Trump. This is the first time we've had a rematch since 1956, when Adlai Stevenson tried to challenge President Dwight Eisenhower. The only difference this year is the challenger acts like he stopped taking his ADHD medication, shoved the pills up his ass, and started dancing naked in his living room while a Ted Nugent double live album plays in the background.
Oh, God.
Nikki Haley did win 2 primaries, one in Washington, D.C., and another in Vermont, which isn't saying much. It's the equivalent of quitting smoking and chewing gum while you're dying of emphysema. It's not entirely hard to win a Republican primary in D.C., as all you have to do is personally call all 5 of the registered Republicans who live there. Trump isn't the only quote unquote incumbent who lost a primary. In the Democratic primary in American Samoa, the winner was venture capitalist Jason Palmer. As a result, he will get 3 delegates to the Democratic convention this summer. Coincidentally, 3 is also the number of people who will miss Kirsten Sinema being in the Senate.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seriously, no one else could win an election like this unless they had a lot of money. The last person to sink this much money into an island was Jeffrey Epstein.
That's good.
I found this out. This is interesting. Jason Palmer is a resident of Baltimore, Maryland, which means if everything that Trump-sponsored media says about the existence of the deep state and their capabilities is true, then Jason Palmer may be the first Baltimore resident to be the victim of a targeted assassination and not have anything to do with drugs. So, like I said, it's the inevitable. We pretty much knew. I think as soon as Trump lost 4 years ago, that there was the strong likelihood of a Biden Trump rematch. I mean, even if Biden decided not to run again, like we knew Trump was going to run again, try and retake the Oval Office. Is anybody else on this panel having as much of a sense of foreboding and misery as I'm having?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to not think about it, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to misery and foreboding.
I'll put it this way. I'm starting to Google what is it going to take to drive to Puerto Vallarta?
Tom, is your misery and foreboding because it's a Biden-Trump rematch, or because there's still a possibility Trump could win? What's the foreboding about?
But one of the things that has me depressed about it is people were telling me, oh, Trump's lost, you're not going to have anything to talk about. And what I told them was, well, okay, he's out of office and Democrats are in, but the people who supported Trump aren't going away. They're still going to be there. And if anything, it's going to be like the sequel to an action film or a horror film. It's like they're back and they're really pissed off. So the vote the vote of Trump supporters increased from 2016 to 2020. And so I'm just worried that'll probably happen again in this year as well. So that's what's really got me terrified.
But Tom, don't be so sure that Nikki Haley won't be the nominee, because it could end up being like America's Got Talent, where, if there's a tie in the audience vote, it goes to the Dunkin' Donuts challenge, and she could win. She could still win, Simon could be like, your performance was great, Nikki. I loathed your backing track. That kind of thing.
You think
don't count her out, Tom?
I don't know. That would assume a tie in the audience vote.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
not happening.
That would assume that some of these people are gonna flip. The only thing they're flipping for is Trump's cheeseball gold sneakers. Okay.
Like, people seem to think that, and I think there's some legitimate concern about this, that if people consume too much media, get all their information from there, then certain things are gonna be ingrained into one's mind, like, oh, Biden's too old, he's a dodderer, he stutters, he falls asleep. Whether or not some of that stuff is true, but the only hope I really have is that the American voter will have this kind of they'll have this fuck you attitude toward the media, and I think we're hoping that fuck you attitude goes one particular way.